Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Today I'm working on my WR250X again, still prepping this thing for the trip down to Jacksonville on the Georgia Adventure Trail, and then maybe some of the Kentucky Adventure route or whatever they call it up there. But doing a little bit of both, determined to ride this little 250 a little bit more. It's been parked for the last couple years, only getting it out occasionally. I've been riding my R1250 GS Adventure more than anything. But now focusing on this bike a little bit more. So we'll do a full in-depth kind of detail of it in another video. But today, I want to talk about lights. So the factory light on the WR250X and WR250R really isn't that great. I mean, it's an old halogen. There's a lot of new technology out, and uh, I was kind of looking at doing something like the DRS or DNS headlight. That's the big round one, kind of like a Jeep headlight. But I really like the look of the, like the Baja design squadron headlights, but they're just really expensive. So I was doing a little bit of research, and on YouTube, I found East Texas ADV had posted a video from this small company called Flight of Four out in Arizona. And what they're doing, they're making really affordable options for lighting. So I bought one. So what we have here is the Flight of Four adapter that they make. Looks like it's very stout 3D printing. They design it, they make it, and then it has this light in here that's very similar to the Baja Design Squadron. Just kind of a 2.5, 3 inch light with some LEDs. But what's interesting about this is that it comes with the kit to dim it. So I can use it on low beam. On low beam, it will pull the power back, and then when you turn the brights on, it will be super bright. So I will be using this on the road. It is not necessarily DOT legal, but here in Tennessee, as long as you have a headlight, they don't really seem to care. So, and out here in the mountains where I live, there really aren't very many cars, so I'm not too worried about it. But what's interesting about it, as opposed to the Baja Designs, is that it actually mounts using all of the OEM hardware, but the light can actually tilt. So the light is adjustable within the frame, and you can actually get to those bolts from the side. So we'll go ahead and get to installing this, and we'll see what we think. And before I start the install, I do have this Parabellum screen, and it does have kind of a unique mounting. So you can see down in here, there's two bolts that hold it in. The back ones are a little further, but the front ones are kind of close to the front. So I'm not sure if this is going to fit perfect or if I'm going to have to do some trimming. Uh, the customer service at Flight of Four is very good. I actually sent them a text because their website says call or text. So I sent them a text, and the owner there was actually on vacation, but he texted me back rather quickly and sent me photos of everything to see what I thought. So if anything, I'm gonna have to come over here, and there's a chance I might have to Dremel out some of this in here and in here to make it fit, but we'll see. I have high hopes. I think there might not be any issues, but we'll see here. Okay, the install on this thing is really easy. The hardest part is honestly just pulling this thing out that has the headlight mounted. Most of your gauges and stuff, it's all going to stay in place. So you actually have a bolt here. Yours is probably an actual, like maybe an 8 mil, maybe a 10 mil. I've switched mine out to have some Allen key hardware. When I was installing this Parabellum screen, I swapped that out. I'm just trying to make some of the stuff Allen keys on the bike that I can. Anything that I need to access simply. So you just remove those two screws. And then down here on the bottom, there's just a press fit. There's a post here and a post here that push down into the fender. That's what holds the bottom on. So literally, it's two bolts to get the thing out. Then you have to pull these out. All right, so we'll just start by removing this one. Then we'll get the other one, and then I'll show you what it's like on the bottom. It's really not too hard overall. I've had this off to change headlights out, and like I said, to install that screen. So there's one, and then we'll get the other one over here. Very simple. Two. So that's coming out now. And then the hard part, let me set this stuff back here. And then the hard part is just pulling this thing out. There we go. And as you can see, there's just these two plugs here, one, two, that press fit into these grommets down here. So after that, you're out. And all you have to do is unplug the connector from the headlight on the back. All right, so now that we have everything off, all we're gonna do is remove these screws here. So you got one and you've got two. These are actually the adjustment screws, but they also hold the headlight in. So after those are out, all you have to do is remove this. There's a little grommet here that we're gonna reuse, but really it's as simple as that. So we'll go ahead and get that done. All right, so I've got these front screws loose now. Uh, you want to make sure that you don't lose these little plastic pins. Once you pull oh, there you go, there's one there. So this is what the screw actually screws into. So if you have any thought that you want to reuse some of this, you definitely want to keep these. So make sure you don't lose them. Put them away with the screws. There's actually a spring in here too. Let's see, we can get this one out. So that comes out. There's a spring that's back here. Like that. So this is the full hardware for each side. You've got your spring here, your adjustment screw. There's a washer on it too, and then you have your nylon backer there. So go ahead and get this light out of here, and we'll see how the light actually fits with this parabellum screen. All right, so I've got the adjustment screw hardware all put back together for safekeeping, so I don't lose any of that. And then when it comes to this, all we have to do is push on the front, and then that top will pop out of that grommet. You're going to want to pull that grommet out because we're going to have to refit it. You can't really squeeze anything in, but we're going to pull that out and we'll install it on the new headlight. All right, the new headlight comes pre-installed with this hardware. So make sure you remove that because we're going to be reusing that. And that's going to go right back through where those adjustment holes were. This is what it's going to look like from now on. One thing I noticed is that they provided this little Allen key here, which looks like that's the adjuster for that. So what I'm going to do, it's zip tied on here. I'm just going to leave it zip tied on here. That way, if for some reason I need to adjust the headlight and I'm out, as long as I can, slip that out of there, I'll have it. I've got Allen keys around here. Don't really need it. So again, what you're going to do, you're going to take that grommet that we were talking about earlier. You're going to slip that through here, and the way this is designed, it's going to fit right down in there. There we go. Nice and simple. So they did a real good job with the design. There's a nice recess in there, so everything can line up just fine. And now we'll grab that front fairing. We're going to put it in here now that I have all that hardware removed. It just pops into place. And then we're going to screw these down in here. So the bolts they provide are just going to go in here as if your original adjustment screws would. And it's just a little 2.5 mil Allen key that holds it into place. So again, we don't need any of the factory adjustment anymore because we're actually able to pivot this light. So, all right, so that is it. It's just those two there, and then that grommet on the back, and it's on. It's ready to go back on. I do actually have to mess around with this hardware for the bottom mounts of the screen, but it looks like I'm going to have enough space in there to be able to make it work. So looks like everything's going to work out. Let me go and do that, and then we'll get this thing back on the bike. All right, guys, so I messed around with it a little bit, and it actually turns out that I could actually make it work. So just made my fingers much tinier. I'm just able to get these bolts in here, and it lines up just right. So this one's making a little bit of contact on the bracket, but not a big deal. I think long term, this isn't going to vibrate much in the housing, so it's going to work out just fine. Let's get this on the bike. I want to check it out. All right, so installation is going to be pretty much the opposite of the disassembly. So really, we just clip this in here. Do. Got that clipped in. I'm gonna turn the bike on real quick and see if it works. Go ahead and crank this thing over. It's in neutral. There we go. Nice and bright. That's on the bright. And then there's the dim. So looks like we are good to go. All right, so now the hardest part, which is actually quite simple, is just getting these grommets in down here. Boop, boop. One, two. There we go. So that's back in there, and now we just put these side bolts back on, and we're done. All right, guys, check it out. We're installed and good to go. So we just got that bolt in and the same one on the other side. Now, what's interesting is to be able to adjust this in the housing, you have easy access to that 5 mil Allen key there, and then the other one there. So we'll get that adjusted tonight as we go out and ride in the dark. But the spare Allen key for adjustments is actually hidden right down there, zip tied on. I don't know if that's what they intended for it to be, or if that just stays there, if it was there for shipping so it wouldn't rattle around, but I'm just going to leave it there and we're good to go. Yeah, so very, very big difference from the OEM light to that. I can't wait to see what this thing looks like at night. All right, guys. So that wraps up the headlight install on this Flight of 4 headlight. Very, very happy with it. Stoked that it fits with my Parabellum screen. I was a little worried about that I might have to Dremel something, but it ends up working just great. So, uh, Gary over at Flight of 4, very happy with the customer service. Like I said, I texted him as soon as I found out the headlight existed and was trying to figure out if it would work with my Parabellum screen or not. He took pictures of his mount and everything for me. And he got this out really, really quick. It's actually today's Thursday. It was supposed to be here on Saturday. So he got it out very, very quickly and very, very impressed. So I think for the value, for the money that you're spending, the looks, we'll see about the performance, but everything that I've seen is great. Very, very excited about this. And they make lots of headlights for different KTMs, things like that too. So definitely check out their website, flightof4.com. That's flight of 4 FOUR.com, and can't wait to see how it performs. So we'll see you guys next time.